What's going on, everybody? Ben Raven here, reporting from the home base. Kyle Meinke is in Minneapolis, excuse me. But the Detroit Lions, my goodness, I've covered some pretty rough collapses in the four seasons on the beat now, but that one was there was just a different feel to that one. It just kind of, the Vikings take their first lead of the game with 45 seconds left. The first two 20-yard plus plays of the game allowed by the defense come on back-to-back throws to Ypsilanti native KJ Osborne. But we got to talk about Dan Campbell's aggressive nature, because that's what everyone's going to be wondering about. You know, the aggressive nature gave the Lions two different double-digit leads at one point in this game. But it also came back to get them in the fourth quarter, though. And I mean, the one thing that I had a hard time kind of figuring out here is just kind of the flip-flopping between aggressive and passive, going for it, not going for it. I mean, that last field goal attempt put his defense in a really, really tough spot there. I think the Vikings started with the ball about the 45-yard line. Two plays later, and they're up. Lions only had one timeout, and I understand that he really trusts his defense in those situations, and the defense had been playing pretty good to that point. I mean, I know Amani Oruwariye, he's going to want to burn the game tape on this one. I think it was 5 penalties, 2 declined on Amani in this one in his first game back in the lineup. I mean, he almost got called for that late one, too, that would have, before the Lions even had that drive to kick the late field goal there. But yeah, Austin Seibert misses the early field goal. He misses the late field goal to give the Vikings the ball near midfield to set up that game-winning touchdown drive. And I see comments. I'm going to check in here on a minute. Just going to get through my spiel first. But, I mean, we can talk about the aggressive play calling all we want. The Lions were 3 of 16 on third down. 3 of 16. You know, so I don't blame Dan Campbell for feeling like he's got to take every swing every time he gets it within 4th and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 1. They went 4 of 6 on fourth down after going 3 of 16 on third down. That is terrible. That has haunted them, you know, dating back to the Matt Patricia tenure. It haunted them last year. It haunted them today. You cannot go 3 and 16 on third down and win in the NFL. And I mean, just Amani, the coverage issues late, the penalties late. I mean, the broken coverage to Osborne, the broken coverage to Thielen on the easy touchdown in the first half there. I mean, the aggression let the Lions take a couple double-digit leads, but it also came back to get them in the end. Trusting that defense just a little too much. You know, maybe Jack Fox was banged up after he took that contact. His 2 punts after getting run into there were a little not Jack Fox-esque. So I don't know what went into that. We'll hear from Dan Campbell after the game here soon. But, yeah, Lions lose 28-24. That extends their road losing streak to 11 games. They blew a 10-point fourth quarter lead. They had 2 separate double-digit leads in this one at one point. And I'm going to dive into the comment section. I'm scared. I'm going through comments right now. I don't know what happened on the deep throw. The broadcast seemed to think he lost it in the ball, but that was really strange. And, you know, I'll be back in the locker room in Allen Park on Wednesday it is, and we'll see if we can hear from Josh Reynolds on that one. It looked like a lot of confusion on that one. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed Jameson Williams in the background with Reynolds running back, like shocked, like laughing, not making fun of his teammate, but like shocked that deep ball didn't get ruled in. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, we talked. Yeah, it seems like you guys also noticed Amani Oruwariye's rough game back in the lineup. You know, at the end there, it was getting a little so rough that, I mean, a lot of tweets and people like, why is he even on the field right now? And I mean, honestly, I mean, he was hugging all over Thielen. And I mean, seriously, the one that they didn't call, I felt like was like one of the easiest calls they could have made of the game. I mean, so much contact plus 5 yards. I mean, he could have been called for even a couple more if you ask me. It was a really rough day for 24. But, you know, St. Brown did not get to 8 catches today. He was banged up. You know, they had to retape his foot or ankle at one point. I mean, if you guys were watching at home or listening to Dan Miller and Lomas Brown on the radio, St. Brown was limping off the field every time he was coming off. He was in some clear pain. 6 catches on 9 targets for 73 yards. Josh Reynolds, you know, he didn't haul in that deep ball, but he had 6 catches for 96 yards on 10 targets. DJ Chark kind of went away late there. He had 2 catches early. Ended with 3 catches for 46 yards. Another quiet day for Hawkinson despite the touchdown. 3 catches, 18 yards. He came in with a hip injury in this one. And, you know, DeAndre Swift, I mean, The Fox broadcast said he was dealing with shoulder pain. And, I mean, talk about St. Brown limping off the field. Swift was clearly in some pain, too. He was limited to 7 carries for 31 yards. He caught 3 passes for 15 yards, so not the biggest day for DeAndre Swift. Jamal Williams really handled the work out of the backfield. And 20 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Lions went away from Williams there on one of those late drives. I'm all for Craig Reynolds getting touches too, but I really felt like Williams was running well. He was really clicking with that offensive line, running behind Frank Ragnow, knowing when to bounce it outside. I felt like that was a missed opportunity there too. But my goodness, I really, as a Lions beat writer in my 4th season now, I shouldn't say things like I can't believe the Lions blew this game, but I am pretty shocked that the Lions blew this game. I mean, my goodness, I apologize for struggling to find words. I mean, 3 of 19 on 3rd down is the only thing I need to say. I could have started this video and said Lions lost 28-24. They had to go for it on 4th down a lot because they couldn't convert a 3 of 16 on 3rd down because they couldn't move the sticks on 3rd down to save their lives. I mean, there's just way too much throwing short of the sticks. I mean, it's just, like I said earlier, it's kind of that imbalance between aggressive and passive. It's just like, you want to be aggressive on 3rd and 6 and actually throw it past 6 yards. That's something that needs to be done there. And let's see Goff's numbers: 25 of 41, 1 touchdown, the interception to former Michigan standout Josh Metellus to end the game. That was just a desperation heaved down the sideline. There was some really good stuff from the offense early, but once the injuries started piling up, and we didn't even talk, Tracy Walker left this game early with an ankle injury. That is terrible news for this defense. I mean, Tracy Walker, he's a team captain. I know he's had some rough moments this year, but he's one of their best, just like, guys on that team, a leader in that locker room, 100%. And just, he's been strong this year. He's had a couple of heck of nice games, and his loss was big. And so, that's about it here, guys. 28-24, the Vikings overcome 2 separate double-digit leads by the Lions to win 28-24 in week 3. The Lions are back home next week against the Seattle Seahawks. Let's see, we got some quotes coming in from Dan Campbell's press conference right now. Dan Campbell said he regrets kicking that final field goal that was missed, and the Lions should have gone for it on 4th down at the end of the game. That is per Justin Rogers on Twitter of the Detroit News. So Dan Campbell's already kicking himself for that decision at the end of the game there. Seibert missed from 54 yards out. He missed earlier in the game from distance too. It wasn't, I don't think it was 50 plus, but I think it was like 46, 47 just offhand right now. So there you go. The coach is kicking himself for that one too. And just put the defense in way too bad of a spot there. Bad of a spot. It was a rough spot, rough way to end that game. That is a game the Lions should have won. The Vikings did not take. The Vikings' first lead came with 45 seconds left. And for those that came in late, their first 2 offensive plays to go for more than 20 yards were the 2 plays that won them the game. So Lions lose 28-24. I'm going to get out of here and tune into the coach's press conference. Like I said, mlive.com/Lions. Kyle Mikey is on the ground in Minneapolis. I'm holding it down at the home base. Ben Raven signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week from Ford Field. The Seattle Seahawks come to town. The Lions are 1-2. It's an opportunity to be 500 into their matchup before the bye in the Patricia Bowl out in New England the next week. So, winnable game against a strange Seahawks team. The Seahawks will bring Kenneth Walker back to town next week, former Michigan State star. But Lions 1-2, lose 28-24. They blow a 4th quarter double-digit lead in Minnesota. And the Vikings are 2-1. Lions are 0-1 in the division. And that was a tough one. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Sorry to keep rambling here. I've been looking for my thanks for joining button for a second. I'm a little rusty and discombobulated after that one too, but I'm out of here this time.